Howdy! I need to clean off this workbench here because it's getting a bit out of hand. I think I'll clean off the workbench using my digital broom. I haven't tried it out yet, so that now seems like a good time. Oh yeah! That was way easier than picking stuff up and sorting it throughout the shop. There we go! Clean workbench. That dumb joke's probably going to be 50% of my editing work tonight. Anyway, hi! I ran some errands today. You'll see what I got in a second. I probably won't get much done on the bus today, but that's okay. I asked you all yesterday, let me go get it real quick. I asked you all yesterday if you all knew of any mechanical fasteners to hold in these frameless windows. This is the extra window I ordered. And what I forgot to mention, because I'm an idiot and I always forget to mention things when I ask questions, is that I don't have this trim ring for a lot of the windows. Some of you suggested using the trim ring to clamp the window in. 2 of the windows are missing the trim ring because I got them second hand. So I don't like these trim rings anyway. So I'm not gonna do that. I'll have to either figure out some sort of mechanical fastener or do what a lot of you suggested and just use adhesive around this lip, because I'm sure adhesive will work just fine. Adhesive and sealant. Might use a combination of the two. I'll see. I'm not going to be installing the windows for a little while now. That's kind of until a little while later. That's kind of a later step. Secondly, from what I saw in the comments, there seemed to be a fair amount of you that were disappointed that I put windows in the back wall of the bus rather than a door. What, for easy access to the car hauler section and everything. Well, let me explain that decision to you now. I very specifically chose to not put a door here. I wanted to block this wall off and just put windows here because this is where the beds are going to be. They're not going to be fold-away beds. They're going to be permanent beds. Queen-sized beds. So if I have beds here in the back of the bus in an east to west configuration like I have planned, then this wouldn't be the most easy door to use. I understand that it would be easier to access this area of the bus from the inside if there was a door here, but I'd have to crawl over beds first. And in addition to there being beds here, they're going to be stacked. So it'd be even harder to use the door. I want to have a queen bed up here on a platform. I'd like it to raise and lower, but that's neither here nor there. So it would be a very inconvenient door to use if there was a door here. And in addition to that, I want the platform under the bed, the space under the bed, to be designated for batteries, electricals, water tanks, etc., stuff like that that the RV section of the bus needs. And I want that to be shared with the cabin space and the insulated cabin space, and I want the space under the bed to be vented so that I don't have to insulate the water tanks if I were to, say, sling them under the bus or something like that. And the batteries can be heated and cooled with the interior of the bus. So the batteries will last longer, the batteries will hold more juice, and the water tanks, I won't have to worry about them freezing, and I won't have to worry about them putting RV antifreeze in the winter, and winterizing the bus, and stuff like that. I do plan to have, I don't think I mentioned this on video before, for the batteries situation, I do plan to have lithium-ion batteries, and the batteries that I plan to use, again, these are only plans, so this is very likely to change. The batteries I plan to use are 7 Nissan Leaf modules. I can find them on eBay for about, I think it was $1,000, something like that, which is pretty reasonable for lithium batteries. They are used, so I'm repurposing old batteries. And I would have a 48-volt configuration in the bus. I've already looked up inverters and stuff like that, and DC to DC converters, so I can have 12 volts in the bus. And I think it was 1 bank of 7 modules, or maybe 2 banks. I calculated that it has enough kilowatt-hour storage to run a mini-split overnight with no charging. So that is my goal. I don't want to have to be based on generators or anything like that. I want very large amount of battery storage in here so I can use the RV anywhere. I forgot what I came out here to say. Oh yeah, no door here, just windows and a wall. Somehow that turned into me talking about my battery plans. I don't know. What goes on in my head? The chickens say they're hungry. Probably because they're out of food. What are you doing, Puffhead? You're running up to attack me? Okay, so I'm going to give them some more food. Y'all are talkative today. They are still on Kickstarter for right now. They got another couple weeks to go until we transition them. Come here, chow down, you hungry birds. Oh yeah, is that some good whatever's in this food? Eat up. You strange birds. You guys are adorable. I made a trip to Harbor Freight today. I got some more welding wire so I can finish, doing any sort of welding at all. But also I got a new welding cart. By the look of this one, by the look of the box, this one wasn't shipped to Harbor Freight, it was kicked to Harbor Freight. They did give me this was the only one they had in the store. They did give me a nice discount, which is kind of nice. And it was cheap anyway, so I'm not entirely concerned about it. As long as it's not missing parts, which I don't think it was. Hopefully, anyway. So that's going to be the main thing today, is assembling this welding cart. By the way, the ferrite choke seems to be working. When I was editing last night, I put the ferrite choke on and I didn't hear any more interference-caused buzzing. Did hear a little bit of white noise still, but that's to be expected. The ferrite choke has nothing to do with that. But it seems to have mitigated the interference buzzing that's coming through my mic cable, so that is awesome. And it is minimally in the way. So thanks, person whose name I forgot, for sending me a ferrite choke and the VHB tape. I have the best fans. You all have responded very, very, very well to this daily video series. Much better than I could have ever anticipated. You all seem to be liking it a lot, and I'm enjoying it, so it's a win-win. I will continue this daily video thing until it's not fun anymore. Or until a month is up. I don't know. These things have a limited time span. Meaning people will lose interest eventually. I'll lose interest eventually. And there's just nuts and bolts scattered throughout this whole box, which is real fun. There was some stuff that fell out of that. Hopefully not too much. This is a very basic welding cart, but it will be a step up from the thing I was using as a welding cart, which is actually not a welding cart at all. It was just a little hand dolly for holding tools and stuff, and I had to wedge the gas bottle underneath the bottom shelf. It just didn't work very well. And this one has proper sized wheels and stuff, so I can roll over cords. Not with these, but with these I can roll over cords. If I get to any bus work today, it'll be finishing up the welding that I got stopped on yesterday because I ran out of welding wire. And there we go, there's all my parts. Let's start assemblating. Let me get the right sized sockets and wrenches first. I may make a trip back to Harbor Freight again today because there's some stuff I forgot to get, like gloves. I don't have any rubber or latex gloves. Rubber or latex? Latex is a type of rubber. Rubber gloves. So I need to get some more of those. Also, I was going to get for my my tool drawer over there a set of socket organizers, some other various little things, spring clamps, just stuff that I need in general. I might go back today, so I don't have to go back tomorrow. So I can get more work done tomorrow. Some work done tomorrow. Where do I start with this? First caster. Whoop. All right, there's that. Look at this. This is pretty awful. What's next? What does the instructions say to do? What do the instructions say to do? These things. What my dad did for a welding cart. By the way, my dad has the same welder I do, which is why I picked that Eastwood MiG 135 welder that I have, is because that's the welder he uses, and I had experience with it, so I thought, why not? It worked for him, and it worked for me when I used it. I'll get the same thing. Anyway, what he's using for a welding cart is a little gardening cart with a little handle and steerable wheels on the front, all pneumatic tires, made for uneven terrain and stuff. And he just cut a little hole in that for his gas bottle, and then the welder sits on the front. I thought that was brilliant. I was going to do that today, but this was cheaper. This was $40 plus the discount. I think it took like $8 off. Whereas a little garden cart, steel garden cart with pneumatic tires was like $80 or $90. So this was the cheaper route, and it'll work just fine. It's not going to be welding out in the woods or anything. It doesn't need to be that off-road capable. I just need it to drive to wheel over extension cords. That's pretty much it, and screws that are on the ground. And this will do that just fine. And if it doesn't, I'll just pick up these little castery wheels, and these wheels will roll over the wires. Considering how damaged the box was, this thing is fine. I say damaged. Destroyed is a better description of that box. What's the next? Halfway plate, which I believe is this one. The diagram doesn't match the plate I'm looking at. Yeah, it doesn't. The holes don't line up. Well, whatever. To be expected, I suppose. Look at that! That is a welding cart. I forgot a washer on one of these wheels, but that is a welding cart. Put the washer on these wheels, then I go get my welder and gas bottle. Gas bottle. Gas bottle goes in right here on this back bit. Put change around it in a second. This is all very heavy. Just realized something I forgot to add to the cart, but I can add it in a second. Put my welding wire and stuff in the second tray right here. I did look at plasma cutters at Harbor Freight today. I am considering one. I don't know if I should, but I'm considering it. And chain around the bottom. Oh, doesn't hold at all. Am I doing that wrong? That chain on the bottom doesn't hold anything. It just slips and then, well, that's too low. Huh. Got some foam insulation tape for pipe insulation. I'll put it here because it's kind of grippy. And maybe the chain won't slip off of that. I have to replace this chain with something a little more better in the future, but that'll work for now. Now, the thing I forgot to put on this welding cart is the little hooks on the side here. All right. Hook is in place. Let's wrap stuff around the hooks. There we go. Now I'm ready to roll. Give it a little air cleaning. If I can squeeze the trigger. There, good as new. If new has been sitting out in the rain for a couple of months. I think that's it for today. Tomorrow we're going to finish welding up the window frames. Going to add vertical supports to the window frames to position the windows on the x-axis. And put, if I get time, which I probably will, put some horizontal supports between the vertical supports at the top of the sheet metal on the outside to give the top of the sheet metal something to screw into. And the bottom of the sheet metal panels I have yet to install. So we'll get to that tomorrow. See you then.